Hello, dear students. Welcome to another session of Learning English Literature. Today, we are going to talk about a very thought-provoking poem, Wind, written by Subramanya Bharati. This poem conveys an important message to each one of us, and we all need to follow it. But let's begin with the introduction of the author, Subramanya Bharati. He is one of the greatest Tamil poets in Tamil, writing in Tamil, and A.K. Ramanujam, who is a renowned Indian poet in English, translated it. This poem is written in simple verse and it expresses the poet's desire to befriend the wind. The poem describes the destructive power of the natural force. It also calls for men to be strong like the wind. This poem urges men to be strong and truly abled. Besides, the poem is Bharati's call for his men to become durable and capable of destroying what is weak. He urges his men to be like the wind in their nature. Children, we all know that wind is a natural phenomenon. And in this poem, the poet talks to the wind. And he describes the power of wind, that how powerful this wind is. He says that wind is destructive in nature, and he has linked the destructive power of wind to the adversities of life and says that the weak people break down, but stronger people emerge out of adversities. Stronger. They never give up. They accept the challenges posed by the strong wind and emerge as a winner. So this poem gives an important message that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive the hardships of life. Because life is not a smooth sailing. We all have to go through tough times, and I mean highs and lows. A weak person breaks down like a weak building and crumbles. So we must make these destructive forces our friends with our strength and determination. And if you do that, you will definitely emerge as a winner. Now let's have a look at the poem. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings. The poet is talking to the wind. He asks the wind to come softly. So he's saying that the wind should not be very strong, loud. It should be soft and subtle. Then he says that the wind is very powerful, it is destructive in nature, and it has potential to break the shutters of windows and scatters the papers. When the wind is very powerful, all the books which are kept on the shelf fall down. So here, the poet is describing the power of the wind. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it had done. Whenever there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak, like small plants, tiny children, etc., they all get scared and they can even fall and get hurt. We can say that in the initial part of the poem, the poet is referring to wind as a young child. He's saying that it should come softly, just like a small child does. In the later part, we come to know that wind is destructive. Just like a youth, just like a young boy or a young girl who is full of energy, violence, and destruction. So, children, we need to understand that why this poem has been written. I mean, if the poet wants us to understand something or realize something, that is very important to understand. Let's move ahead. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So, children, you all can see the use of word crumbling here in the stanza. So this word has been repeated number of times to lay stress that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. So the writer is saying that when wind is very powerful, it is very strong. It leads to breakage of everything. Houses which are weak fall, doors which are weak fall, the beams on which the roof of the buildings are supported, they also fall. All the wooden structures fall, all bodies of people fall, animals, lives, hearts. So he's saying that everything crumbles. Everything that is weak reacts by falling down and breaking in the face of adversity. So the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any adversity or challenge in life, he breaks down and falls. It means he cannot withstand the adversities. He gives up easily and then obviously end up as a loser. So if you don't want to face that in life, you should always be strong. Let's move ahead. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. He won't do what you tell him. So, come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friends with us. So you all can see in these lines what the poet is trying to convey to us, right? Actually, in these lines, the poet is addressing to wind as wind god and is saying that the powerful god of wind winnows. That means he shifts all the people, and those people who are weak fall down and get crushed. So here a comparison is made between wheat and people. Just like we winnow the wheat to separate the grain from chaff, the wind god also separates the strong people from the weak people. The wind god also separates the strong people from the weak people. And when there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and get crushed. So that is what happens to the weaklings. So if you don't want to suffer like this, you need to be strong. Now the poet wants us to make friends with the wind, that is, the adversities in our lives. He says that the problems will not listen to us. They will come, so we should be prepared. In preparation, we should build strong homes and close the doors of our house firmly so that the wind cannot get into. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and hearts firm to face these challenges. And then once we are strong, all the challenges will be like friends. Will not feel that they are troublesome. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Now, in these lines, actually, the poet has kept the wind on a pedestal. And we can see that he is comparing the wind to God. In these lines, he says that wind is God and we praise wind every day. He adds that everything that is weak gets finished off in the face of the strong wind. And all the things that are strong flourish and grow to become stronger. He's giving us a very important message. That we should not feel bad that we are facing so many challenges and adversities in life. We should make ourselves physically and mentally strong to face these challenges. And once we are strong enough, we'll overcome the challenges, we'll become friends with them, and then we'll be happy that we had these challenges in our life. And they help us in becoming stronger and better. So that is what happens when life throws challenges on our way. When we face them, we become strong because we learn the ways to face these challenges. In any situation, we don't give up. So that is what makes us stronger and better. Now let's have a look at the poetic devices. So if you see the rhyme scheme of this poem, children, you can see that this poem has been written in free verse. I mean, there is no rhyme scheme in the poem. Then you all can see use of anaphora. It means when a word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines. This is anaphora. So lines 2, 3, 4 begin with don't, and lines 6, 7 and 8 begin with you. So it means this device called anaphora has been used by the poet. We can also see the use of personification in the poem. The poet has personified wind in this poem. When the poet says, you are, he's referring to wind as you. That means he's treating wind as a person. Then we also see use of repetition. Now you all can see that crumbling word has been repeated number of times in this poem to lay emphasis. The poet wants to say that the wind crushes everything that is weak. That is why he repeats the word crumbling. We also find use of alliteration in this poem. It means the repetition of a consonant sound in close connection, like wind winnows, want, what, want. Then, symbolism is also used in this poem, which means that the thing refers to some other thing. Wind is a symbol. It refers to the challenges in life. He's using wind as a symbol for the adversities in our life. Now let's move ahead and talk about the message. I hope the message is clear to everyone. This message that is conveyed through the poem Wind is that we should never give up when there are obstacles and hardships in life. There are many who easily give up. When you give up easily, you suffer throughout the life. We should face those obstacles with strong willpower, like poet befriends the wind, so that it could not harm the poet in any way. So I hope the message is clear to everyone. In any situation, in any circumstance, you need to stay strong, because if you give up, you will end up as a loser. So that was all about this poem, Wind. I hope the poem is clear to each one of you. Thank you so much for watching this video.